it's just these questions, and I don't know if you have to be in the skin that some of us are in to understand it, but it's just how they ask you these questions as if to say you just woke up and wanted to start a business. And so that perception hits on both sides. So for me, it's been like our own people, and then it's been dealing with like established places where, from vendors and even customers and things like that.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers, fiercely local, fiercely loyal.
So challenges that I faced, and I was wheeling up for this one. This was probably my favorite questions, but I would say, as a minority business, perception, and that comes on both sides. So that comes from the side of what I like to say, what we say, some of us small business owners, minority business owners, coffee table conversation, our own people, because the expectation is that, we're not at the level of the professional level of a, let's just say, white-owned business or established business, right? We're not as qualified to do what we have to do. The other one on that side of our own people is, and some of us can relate to this, your prices are too high. What do you mean our prices are too high? We've done our research. This is the market rate, or the discount, or the lack of support. When I started my business, I was like, Black people gonna come support me. If you look at our portfolio, it's nothing like that. And that's okay, right? Money is green. I'm in business not to be, a magnet to just deal with people of color. You know what I mean? I like to work with all people. So I'm very diverse in that. So there's that side. The other side of that perception is dealing with everything from our suppliers, perhaps, or maybe some financial establishments, and none of them are in here, by the way, I'll say that, that the very notion of the minority business, the minority word it hurts a little bit too. There's a reason why it's there, like the state does. The state has programs, and there's all these different programs for minority businesses. But that's also like a double-edged sword for us, because the expectation is, I remember I had this meeting and I brought some paperwork, and they were like asking me elementary questions like, do you have a marketing plan, or, but it was just the way it was said. And like, yeah, here you go. Yeah, here you go. Have you ever had a CPA? Yeah, I had a CPA for 5. It's just these questions, and I don't know if you have to be in the skin that some of us are in to understand it, but it's just how they ask you these questions as if to say you just woke up and wanted to start a business. And so that perception hits on both sides. So for me, it's been like our own people, and then it's been dealing with like established places where, from vendors and even customers and things like that. The second one would be like convenient outreach, and I'm just gonna throw that in there because I have to be candid with this. Sometimes I think a lot of us, we get invited to the table, I joke, February and June. And it's funny because I keep a CRM, and I, put contact information when I had the last call, and I'll get this call at the end of, it'd be the end of January or the end of May, like, hey, DeShawn, how's it going? Haven't talked in a while. In my head, I'm like, yeah, it hasn't been the same time last year. We're doing this event, and that's the only time. So you're never invited to have a conversation about economic development just for a broad range. You're invited to these certain things, whether it's just pure and intentional, or whether it's because, well, we need that. You know what I mean? And these are just things I went through. So I'm not saying everybody is like that, and continue to go through it. And then the last one, of course, I would say is probably information distribution. And what I mean by that, sometimes as a minority business, we're the last to find out information about certain opportunities. I'll never forget this. About 3 years ago, there was an RFP that came down, and I got a phone call, excited. I was telling my late wife, oh, we're about to tear this up and do this. So I'm on this call, and they said, you got a week and a half to get it into us. And I said, well, when did it come out? Oh, a little short of a month ago. And I won't use the word that I wanted to use because it's a public record. But it was the first of many times where it felt like I was just invited because of a quota, because of some type of qualification. And that, those are the things to me, like if you like real hard conversations that really, as my Southern cousin says, get my back up a little bit. So that's some of the things that I face.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by Farmers National Bank.
Save, borrow, and invest with Farmers. Take heart knowing you're helping create a strong community. Mind your money at Farmers. Talk directly to local decision makers about your loans, investments, and insurance. Farmers, fiercely local, fiercely loyal.